Under the lights at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the return of the 10-lap shootout was the kind of racing that is only fitting of an all-star event. The return of the 10-lap shootout was the kind of racing only fitting of an all-star event. Tony Stewart is back in victory lane, this time as an owner. He finished second as a rookie, and now he has 1 million reasons to smile because the kind of racing we saw tonight was only fitting for a 10-lap shootout as we see them go 3 wide, and this was costly for Jeff Gordon as he goes for a spin through the infield grass. His night and his hopes for $1 million were dashed at that time. But who would have thought at this point that Tony Stewart comes charging on Matt Kenseth, passes on the low side, and never looks back. After 10 years driving the number 20, now he has his number 14 that he got from A.J. Foyt, his hero, back in victory lane. The fireworks are going off. Tony Stewart has an ear-to-ear grin, and that won't go away anytime soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed. I'm John Roberts, Jimmy Spencer, Kenny Wallace, and this was a very popular victory. The stands are still full of fans as Tony Stewart starts his celebration.
You know what, though, Johnny? You know, Kenny, this was absolutely one of the ultimate races you could have ever asked for. 3 different leaders. How many different storylines? And you know what? It was exciting. The last 10 laps was the most exciting 10 laps that I can remember in the Sprint All-Star race ever.
And people say to me, Kenny, what is the highlight of the year so far?
Oh.
And now I have a new one.
Oh, man.
NASCAR is alive and well. The All-Star event is what I will say next week. It was incredible, Spence, and like you say, you have Ryan Newman, a Daytona 500 winner, riding high. He was not afraid to die. And then you had the wild one. You had Kyle Busch in the middle, and then a 4-time champion, Jeff Gordon. Race fans, I don't want to hear anybody being negative. This was the race. This was the last 10 laps of a lifetime.
The advice a lot of people were giving these drivers tonight was drive it like you stole it. Was Kyle Busch doing that?
Oh, my God.
Johnny, you know, when you see, you know, Kyle on the outside on the restart as you see him take the lead, how about Tony there bottom feeding on that white? Look at him get to that throttle. Here he comes up underneath Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth, Kenny.
Hey, where is Ryan Newman? Here he comes on the outside.
He started 9th in the last 10-lap segment. Here he comes on the, oh, God, we got more highlights.
So at first you thought in the 10-lap shootout it was going to be Kyle Busch's race. Then you thought it was going to be Jeff Gordon's race. Then you thought Ryan Newman was going to win it. And Matt Kenseth had it towards the end, and Tony Stewart made one hell of a pass.
And Johnny, you know what that happened? Fans in only 10 laps. How could that all happen in 10 laps?
And what I wonder is how did we ever get away from this format to begin with? The 10-lap shootout is back by popular demand, and everybody is going nuts. There's so many fireworks and so much stuff going on. I'm excited.
And so is a team by the name of Stewart-Haas Racing. They are back in victory lane with one new owner's name on top of that team. It's Tony Stewart, and he was the one that got him there. When we come back, we'll have highlights, and we'll speak with the smoke, Tony Stewart, about his first All-Star win.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate. Brought to you in part by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and by Priceline, where you can find half-price hotels every day.
Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway, everyone, where the 25th version of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race was won by that Office Depot crew and driver of the number 14, Tony Stewart. He left Joe Gibbs Racing after 10 years with that team, ventured out on his own, and a lot of people said he wasn't going to be able to get it done, and now here Tony Stewart sits second in points. But tonight is not about points, it's about all the money. Let's take a look at the first 50-lap segment of this all-star race, number 25, as the green flag waves in the air. And you know what, guys? We heard this first 50-lap segment called a lot of different things. We heard it called a test session, a place to feel everything out, and by all intents and purposes, Jimmy, it was pretty mellow.
It really was, except for this guy in that crushing M&M's car. He's the only guy. He says, I got to get 3 wider. I got to get to the front. Here he comes outside of Biffle, Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman and Harvick, nobody can do this, but you know what? Kyle Busch can, Kenny.
He has figured out how to get 3 wide on every racetrack. I mean, I'm even talking Bristol, Martinsville. But the story of the 50-lapper was this guy, Jimmy Johnson. This has been his house for a while. People are starting to steal it from him, like Casey Kane last year, but he won the first 50-lapper.
Now, if you don't think people don't care about this thing, watch the battle for second between the 24 and the 2. They're trying to get every possible position they can here because everything counts.
Well, and the big thing here, Johnny, is why would they race this hard? You get to start on the outside in the next segment, and it's only 20 laps. What will my car do on the outside in a restart? That was these guys' decision here, trying to fight for that position.
Restarts were such a big story. This is lap 25, halfway stop.
And this is the most exciting moment. All the cars came down in unison, all pitting at the same time. Great pit stops at work.
And I was surprised at that. You know, I was surprised that all those guys decided to pit on lap 26.
Little pit miscue there for the number 18. Kyle Busch overshoots his line, but they don't work on the car before they get it back.
And might I say, the only car to make a pit miscue of all the cars that came down pit road, but he recovered well.
All right, this is the house, as Kenny said, that Jimmy Johnson built as he gets out first there. And you know what? He really owned this first segment.
He really did, Johnny. And he started on the pole. And right here, his car, he's feeling really cocky. He has to get on the throttle here because he says, you know what, guys, this isn't a caution. This was a green flag pit stop.
So the 24 once again in the 2, they were doing battle. Jeff Gordon tries to go on the low side of Kurt Busch, but he's not willing to give it up.
And you know what? Jeff Gordon looked like the 4-time champion. He looked like the young Jeff Gordon. He was poised to win this. And watch later on, we'll show you how Jeff Gordon loses the race, but he was awesome tonight.
So after the first 50-lap segment, it was Jimmy Johnson who looked like he was poised to take yet another race away from Lowe's Motor Speedway in his Lowe's Chevrolet. He wins the first 50. Johnson, Busch, Gordon, Mark Martin, and Kyle Busch.
And, you know, as we go down the field here, what are these guys going to do now on this second segment? Where are they trying to position themselves?
And keep track. Hey, where's Tony Stewart? Hey, where's Ryan Newman? Where are they at?
All right, as we go back onto the field, we remind you that Jimmy Johnson led every lap of that 50-lap segment. McMurray transferred up from the showdown, and he was in 12th.
And the shocker to me, 17th, 18th, 19th, Childress cars, not of the liking of Richard Childress. Some things are going to have to happen here for the Childress organization. They were not a factor in this race tonight.
And follow us in the show right now at the end of this 50-lap segment. Ryan Newman almost 2 laps down. Remember that later on.
Yes, because he was the beneficiary of the free pass. There definitely was a free pass in effect here, and Ryan Newman used it to its full advantage. But we're still having fun here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and the fans are still packed in the stands as they're going to cheer on Tony Stewart and his team as long as they can. Back with more Victory Lane in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. You know, there were some wrecked race cars here, and if they were in Chicago, they'd know where to go to get towed. Wrecked, the season premiere, Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Speed. There's only one group that can help motorists who wreak havoc on the city of Chicago, and you can see them on Wrecked, which premieres again this week. So they're wasting a lot of good champagne down there in Victory Lane, but hey, they got $1 million, so they can do whatever they want after this one. Now let's take a look at the highlights of segment number 2. Now we had 50 laps. Segment number 2 is going to give us 20 laps, and we have cars scattering all over the raceway.
And I got to tell you right now, this is where I'm thinking, okay, Kyle Busch is going to win this race, but all of a sudden, here comes Matt the Brat Kenseth. Where's the 14 at? Here he comes.
I think he had a little incentive to pass that 20 car.
Well, I think that right now, this is getting down to nitty-gritty, but he knows after this segment, we only got 20 more and then 10. But you know what? Jimmy Johnson's missing in action here. Here these guys are battling for the lead, 18 and 17. And let me tell you what, fans, these guys put on a heck of a show. Now, don't forget, no tires. No tires on these guys. This is big.
And I must say, before anybody says there was no passing with these cars, after the 50-lap segment, we've seen a lot of passing with this car.
Now, this is neat right here. This is gamesmanship, showmanship. Are they going to pit? Are they going to stay out? Kyle Busch takes it all the way down in season 17, staying out. That was a great move. That was cool.
That was awesome. And, you know, Jimmy Johnson, if you look back, he didn't exactly know what to do here. And those guys decided to stay out. Jimmy Johnson now pits. What is Chad Knaus going to do? Because now he knows, hey, I could be in trouble here. So you know what? I'm going to put 4 tires on this big bad boy, boys.
Better get 4 fresh balonies if you go in there, because that might be your only chance to get back up there. Segment number 3, Ken Wallace, 20 more laps.
And you know what? The first 4 cars have old tires on. These cars did not pit. Now look at here. Here we go. 3, 4 wide. These guys are going wild. Here's the 48.
Bump.
Into the wall.
Bump for the Biff.
Wow, and here we go. We got another wreck coming down here in the corner. Spence, they're going hard. Look at Hornish, loose, gets up in the Biff.
That takes care of both of them.
And ends Greg Biffle's night and the 77's night. You know, here these guys are just trying hard. Sam gets down in there as quick as he can, loses a little of the control, goes up, collects the Biff, and ruins their night.
And the great thing about this race is you can't go, oh, you were driving too hard. You damn right we were driving hard, baby.
So the 24 goes by the 18 for the lead, and this is very significant in this segment because this is the segment that determines how we line up for the 10-lap shootout. Jeff Gordon wins this segment, and he's got some great race cars in tow because, folks, although there was 10 laps to go, after this segment was all said and done, we still had 10 long laps. Let's go now to segment number 4, a 10-lap shootout. It's one of the most exciting 10 laps we've seen in a long time.
Oh, Johnny, you're right. But you know what, fans? Now they're all on equal playing ground. 10 laps, all of them got 4 fresh tires. Can you look at Kyle Busch, 3 wide immediately?
And right now, I'm thinking,
Whoa.
oh, no, we're going to have a big one. And Jimmy Johnson does an incredible job of not wrecking the whole field. Here comes Jimmy. He gets booted by Denny Hamlin. Gets into him. But listen.
Look at the job the rest of those guys did. Awesome job by the drivers.
Yeah, and right now, before we go any further, where is Ryan Newman?
I don't know.
Where's Newman at?
Just wait. They'll be saying hello to him very soon.
Look at this.
Look at the restarts of Kyle Busch were simply spectacular.
Yeah, well, he says, you know what, he got warned by NASCAR. You can't pass it on the outside. He says, okay, well, I'm going to pass it on the inside. Taking the lead off of 17-24, and there he goes. And, you know, there's his brother right behind him.
All right, so Jeff Gordon is leading Kyle Busch at the time. They're still beating and banging a little bit, but you asked the question. Here is Ryan Newman.
Here's my favorite part. Ryan Newman almost 2 laps down because of a left front shock problem. They fixed the shock, and now I will stand out. Listen to this. Whoa, look here. Ryan Newman riding high, not afraid to die. Here's another look.
Costly for Jeff Gordon, this beating and banging 3 wide.
Newman taking the lead.
They ran out of room there, and you know, and Newman squeezes on the outside, makes it 3 wide. Jeff Gordon doesn't get enough room off the 18, but you know what, guys, we're racing for $1 million.
And that is the key right there. Every time somebody got out of their car after one of these wrecks, they said, hey, look, it's the All-Star race. This stuff happens.
And now we're narrowing this thing down. Here's the 17 and the 18 racing hard, and the 14 right there lingering. But here's the pass, fans. This is in turn 1 and 2. You watch this, fans. This is a power move to the bottom on the white line, wide open. And Kenny, he says, good night, Irene.
Jimmy Spencer, me and you are friends, and I never brag on anything. I got a little lucky today. I won the lottery. Who did I pick to win this race?
You took the Rushville Rocket.
Tony Stewart,
Tony,
baby.
man.
Yes.
And here's his crew jumping up and down. Tony, this is impressive, guys.
That is an excited fist pump.
First time Haas ever wins a race. Tony Stewart, the first winner since Jeff Bodine as an owner. This is pretty proud, and a lot of mix. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Dodges. Great race here for me, fans.
Great job by Joey Logano in the 20. He got up by way of the fan vote, and he finished 8th. Jamie McMurray was one of the top 2 in the showdown. He finished 9th. Earnhardt Jr. with a good top 10, and Bobby Labonte finished 11th.
You forgot, re-say that. Young Joey Logano.
Young Joey Logano, the young driver.
Best run for Childress, 12th with Clint Boyer. Jimmy never got back to be a factor in this race. I don't think they made the right decisions in the pits tonight, and you saw what happened to Biff at the end.
All right, Tony Stewart is on his way up here, and we have to say congratulations to driver number 14 from NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. And we can only hope that Tony Stewart is not armed when he comes up here, because we come bearing gifts.
I picked you.
If you've been watching the progress of the number 14 team for the past couple of weeks, you are probably saying it was not a matter of if, but when they were going to make it in to victory lane. And the answer to that question is they would make it in for $1 million at the All-Star race. Tony, we've seen you pump your fists after you got out of cars before. When you jumped out of that car, man, that fist pump said a lot.
This is why right here. It's all these people. That's why.
How about the fans?
It's unreal. I mean, when we got out off of turn 2 there, they stopped us and, you know, we shut it off, and I was listening to them cheering, and it was just solid. I'm like, I'm getting out. So I got out, about fell backwards, but got out. It was awesome to be able to spend time with those guys on the backstretch, and just What an awesome night. I mean, our partner Gene Haas was here for the first time tonight, and man, just so glad that we were able to deliver for him. I mean, just an awesome night.
You know, Smoke, a few months back, you made a heck of a decision. And, you know, I know what you did. You did with Eldoro and, you know, what you've done in short track racing and all. And this was a big chance that you took with Gene Haas. But what a team you have established with yourself and Tony and Ryan Newman.
Well, I'm going to sound like an infomercial, but Gene Haas and Joe Custer, I got to thank them for the opportunity. I got to thank Rick Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports and their engine department and chassis department for all the resources and help they give us and support they give us. Chevrolet, who as soon as we went to them and said, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing, they said, hey, we're behind you 100%, and that meant so much to us to have Chevrolet on our side. And then Office Depot and Old Spice and getting Ryan on board and Tony Gibson and Darian Grubb and U.S. Army and Burger Kings and Coca-Colas and all the people that said, hey, we want to be a part of this. And that's what tonight's all about. It's just what an unbelievable feeling, especially with Gene here tonight. That's what it was. It's like a dream come true. First win, and it's the first time he's been to the track in a long time. So we're glad when he came back here. I thought it was going to be Ryan. I mean, Ryan, when Ryan went by, he was in a whole different league than I was in at the time. And then he got the rub and the tire going down and couldn't finish it off. But man, were those guys awesome tonight, and glad we could finish it off.
Tony, first of all, you know, I picked you to win. But
I'm glad I could bail you out again, too, by the way.
I just, you know, all we talk about is this baby being $1 million to win. I know it's about the trophy, but come on. What do you think your team is going to do with $1 million?
I don't care. All I care about is that trophy and the fact that all those guys with Office Depot and Old Spice uniforms are happy and smiling. And there's guys on this team that have never been to Victory Lane before. And I'm so thankful that we got a sponsor and series sponsor like Sprint that helps promote this and the fans that we have in this series. But I wanted that trophy, and I wanted to get these guys in Victory Lane. That means more to me.
Hey, Tony, you know, there's an old story about 3 wise men that come bearing gifts. How about 3 wise guys bearing gifts? Because we all got one.
Look at this, Tony.
Look at this. I got the champagne bottle.
Yeah, but look at this
sucker.
Look at this beautiful ring.
Look at the beautiful ring. And Kenny's got a check for $1 million for you.
Yeah,
so.
let me get my check.
Look at that. That looks pretty good, man.
I mean, can you imagine 25 all-star races here at Charlotte? I mean, an unbelievable deal. 50th anniversary for the Speedway, and just an awesome night. It's just unbelievable.
Quickly, you know, you weren't a factor in the first 50.
We don't have to do anything quick. By God, if we run this show over 2 hours, I don't care tonight.
Good, we got some time.
Oh, good.
And the first segment, not where you wanted. The second segment, some adjustments, standing in your pit watching the guys. And, you know, all at once, it seems like the car came to life in the third segment.
It did right at the end. I mean, we got a little bit of track position toward the end of the race there, the second to last segment, and then right there at the end, we got a shot, and after that 10-minute break, I mean, Darian made about 4 changes, and all of a sudden it woke that car up because it was tight all night, and it was to the point to where whatever we missed tonight, it was in the front end, and we were trying to crutch it by changing stuff in the back, which is about all you can do in a race. You know, you can only work in the back. So that was what we were working on all race, and we couldn't get it, and so we got to do a couple things on the front late during that 10-minute break and made about 3 more changes in the back, and man, did it wake that car up. I mean, it came to life that last segment.
Hey, Tony, we know you and Ryan are competitors. Was there any type of friendly wager or friendly competition going on as to who was going to get the first win?
No, I think, honestly, I mean, Ryan's such a great guy and a great teammate that, you know, I applaud his patience and bearing with me because, I mean, I'm still getting used to being a car owner at this level, and I got a lot to learn still, but he's been such an awesome teammate, and things aren't exactly the way we want it for him yet, but he's the one guy that's in there patting everybody on the back and patting me on the back when we have a good day, and he's an awesome teammate, and man, when he went by us, he was in a whole different league. I mean, he was in
impressive.
It was like there's no way they're going to stop him, and then he got 3 wide, and I thought, man, if they ever make it off the corner, he's got this thing, but I mean, I didn't realize that it was going to be the big melee that it was, but it was, you know, that's the all-star race, and that's the excitement that it brings.
Tony, I always have to ask the important questions, so all the fans want to know, okay, I guess you won't go back to Indiana. You're going to be partying for how many days? Where will you go tonight?
Man, who knows where I'm going to end up tonight, and who knows when I'm going to wake up. But I don't even care. All I care about is spending it with the guys. And I told them before they all started pushing the car away, I said, I don't care where we go tonight, but we're going together. We're going as a team.
That's awesome.
So I'm just happy. I'm so happy for this group of guys because their attitude and determination has just been unbelievable. And I've had that for 10 years of my life at Joe Gibbs Racing too. But I've got to, like I said, we had guys on this team that have never had a shot to be in victory lane.
I've never seen you wear a ring before. It looks good.
I don't get these very often, so if I get them, I'm going to put them on.
Hey, Tony, there have been many nights before you've been the best of the best. Tonight, you were truly the best of the best. Congratulations. Go celebrate. Have a good time. You are an all-star race winner.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you, fans. We appreciate you guys.
Now it is time for our Valvoline Protecting the Win moment of the race, and this was a pretty easy one to pick. How about Tony Stewart with the pass that he won't soon forget on a hard-charging Matt Kenseth? He made it look easy. We know it was tough, and it resulted in a $1 million victory.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate. Brought to you in part by Husqvarna. Master your great outdoors with Husqvarna. Professionally proven outdoor power equipment. To find your nearest dealer, visit Husqvarna.com. And by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America banking center.
Well, the very large crowd that came out to Lowe's Motor Speedway tonight wanted to see something special on the 25th anniversary of the All-Star event, and they did.
And you know what, Johnny? They saw a great race. But you know what, Kenny? I'm going to say that I'm a fan. I was pulling for Kyle Busch. I was pulling for Newman. I was pulling for everybody. Jeff Gordon. I saw one of the greatest races in the sprint all-star race I've ever seen. It's going to go down in my memory bank.
You know, it's my job, our job, to let you feel the excitement, race fans. Like Spence says, you know, winning race car driver, rider Jimmy Spencer. I mean, it was exciting. I mean, it was a great race. The grandstands were packed. You know, it makes you feel happy right now.
And everybody should feel very happy. Now, if you want to get the kind of behind-the-scenes look that you never get at a race, be sure to tune in only on Speed tomorrow night. It is called Inside the Headsets at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll take you where you've never been before in this all-star race. We will show you behind-the-scenes look that you just don't get anywhere. Thanks to everybody for joining us throughout the day today, and congratulations once again to the Smoke, Tony Stewart. He's an all-star.